Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Goedemiddag, allemaal. Thank you all for joining us today. Present today is me. I'm Liesel, the Brainline mentor. Adele, that's part of the senior school. Gerda for the junior school, and then Rosie for finances. We are here for you today, so the floor is open if anyone has any questions that I would like to ask. There is a Q&A, daar is 'n vraag en antwoord afdeling ook, waar ons julle vrae kan antwoord as julle konsulteer. I see there is someone with a hand. Karen, do you want to ask a question, Karen? Okay. Okay, I don't know, Adele, maybe you want to fall in and explain how our online classes work. Dalk wil jy sommer wegval met dit.
Hi everyone. Our online classes for high school as well as the primary school, which Gerda will also explain to you, is a live interaction with a qualified teacher. So during this class, we select certain topics that we as teachers feel is important for students to understand and grasp better for formal assessments, especially for grade 12s when they have an external assessment at the end of the year. So we don't cover the whole syllabus, but we rather take some of the topics that we feel needs special attention. So ons online klasse is 'n interaktiewe virtuele kontaksessie met 'n gekwalifiseerde onderwyser of onderwyseres, en in daai sessie kies ons sekere gedeeltes in ons syllabus wat ons voel kinders of studente meer aandag aan nodig het, en ons verduidelik dan daardie spesifieke tema. Ons is veral gemik op ons eksterne en formele assessering sodat studente 'n bietjie meer voorberei kan wees op eksamens. Al ons online klasse word opgeneem met 'n recording en dit word dan op ons webwerf alles opgelaai in 'n foldertjie gestoor, so studente kan dit dan wel gerus op hulle eie tyd ook deurgaan. Okay, ek sien daar is 'n vraag. Karen se hand is op en Nontoleto Nombela se hand is ook op. You can just unmute yourself and then you can ask.
Yeah, there's quite a few hands coming up now. If you guys just unmute yourselves, you'll be able to talk.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, my name is Pinky Ntombela. I'm Apile Ntombela's mom. He enrolled with Brainline this year for grade 12, upgrading 2 subjects. What I wanted to find out is how long does it take for after they've done their test or exam for the results to come back, because we haven't received anything from the test that they did in the first term. Thank you.
I'm not sure. I'll quickly check for you because usually it's about 2 to 3 weeks maximum. And the grade 12 reports were released yesterday, so all our marks are definitely out. I'll check for you in the background and then I'll get back to you on that just now. We're going to check your situation for you. Anyone else with a question? Okay, Gerda, dalk kan jy vir ons ook vertel hoe werk die online klasse vir die juniors? Perhaps you can explain the online classes for the juniors.
Hi all, yes, I will gladly explain that. We don't have classes for every subject, each and every subject. We tackle Afrikaans, English and mathematics, and that's the subjects that parents need help in most. So ons het klasse in Afrikaans, Engels en wiskunde, en daarin probeer ons om die moeiliker onderwerpe te hanteer, want by die laerskool het die kind nog steeds 'n onderwyser nodig. The human factor will always be part of a junior school learner's lives, and they need somebody to help and assist them. We usually have an exam prep class for those three, but we have a lot of pre-recorded lessons for mathematics. which is available from the beginning of the year. So you can just click on the topic and it's available immediately. Yes, so we are finished with our term 2 classes, and afterwards these classes are recorded and available on Brain Online to view at a later stage, and it's available for the whole year. So you can go back anytime you want and have a look at a specific topic.
Great, dankie Gerda. Okay, in the background, I'm going to open up Brain Online. Brain Online is our platform. So Brain Online is ons platform van waar alles eintlik gebeur. So ons online klasse word daar so op geplaas, alles word daar op geplaas. Ek wil net gou dit vir julle in die agtergrond ook maak. Adele, can you also please explain the turnaround time for the classes to be uploaded on Brain Online? I'm just struggling in the back.
Yes, the turnaround time for our classes is a 48-hour window due to the fact that most of our students are teaching from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evenings, and some of them even till later. So we give the opportunity for them just to have lunch and dinner, and then they upload the videos. So within 48 hours, our recordings should be up. If there's an issue, it may be like a technical error or something that the teacher will just notify students if the recording is not up. But all of our classes should be up within 48 hours. The recordings are loaded on our subject pages, all right, under the banner for classes. And there's a folder that's labeled weekly class recordings. All the recordings for cycle 1 and 2 are inside that folder. So ons online klasse word opgeneem en die klasse word dan gestoor op elke vakbladsy afsonderlik binne in 'n foldertjie onder die klasse opskrif. Almal is gelabel met die datum, die tema van die klas en die graad, so al die kinders kan hulle video's dan daarvan af gaan kyk. So al die video's vir siklus 1 en 2 is tot op hede is behoort opgelaai te wees. Jy kan daar gaan kyk.
Kijk. Dankie Adele. There are some more hands. Daar's 'n bietjie meer hande wat op is. Is daar enige iemand anders wat nog 'n vraag wil vra? Any other questions? Let's just quickly change all the settings. So as soon as you unmute yourself, you will be able to actually talk. Regarding a FIDES report, I'll contact you via email and I'll also send you the report via email.
Hi there, it's Brian speaking.
Hi Brian.
So the online courses, and you said that material is available anytime, but do you have a set class schedule that the students need to attend? How does that work?
Liesel, I'm going to answer you, Brian. Yes, we do. On my personal zone, like Liesel is going to show you just now, we have a schedule for our online classes. So for every grade, there's a specific number of classes that we schedule. Some of the subjects have 3 classes, some of the subjects have 2 classes. Some of them are split Afrikaans English depending on the group size. We try to accommodate both languages when it's juniors, grade 8, 9, and 10. But due to the fact that we have so many students and so little time in a day, we do have to mix Afrikaans English for the grade 11s and 12s sometimes. And all of these schedules are on the timetable. The timetable is on my personal zone. And our classes for grade 12s end tomorrow and grade 11s. And our juniors still have 1 week to go with classes. There's also a schedule up for exam preparation sessions that the teachers have scheduled, where they will just take all the topics that has been covered for the exam and just maybe summarize and answer some questions that students may have. So yes, the timetable is scheduled. It's a fixed timetable per week. So students know that they've got class for maths on a Monday from 8 to 9, every Monday for that specific teacher. The link to access these classes are also available on the subject page itself under the banner classes.
Okay, that sounds great. And if the students need additional help, so let's say they need a few extra minutes just to go over some questions, how do you handle that?
Okay, so like we doing now in this Zoom session, it's a live session, so they've got an opportunity to raise their hand, ask questions to the teacher. They also have the option to type if they don't have a mic to ask the teacher. If it's necessary that they need to email the teacher afterwards to ask a question, that teacher needs to answer the child back, give maybe feedback or another example, help with exercises. And I'm part of the maths department, and what I normally do is I give some exercises at the end of our lesson, and the students do those exercises and they mail them back to me, so that way they can also have feedback. The class is a 45-minute lesson, so it starts on the hour until 1:45, and then the next lesson will start again on the hour. So there's a 15-minute gap between two classes for a specific teacher if there's necessity for answering questions from a specific student.
Okay, and then, sorry, one more question. Then exams, is that also online, or do they need to come into the office to write it under supervision?
Okay, I'll answer that one for you as well. Our exams are online, and especially now due to the COVID-19 situation in our country, everything is online. We have special arrangements and procedures that's being taken care of while we do these exams. So the exam is available online on the subject page with a password at a specific time on the specific day. So if they write exam, for example, on a Tuesday morning from 8 o'clock, the password will only be available just before the session starts. They unlock with the password, they can download and print the exam, but all of this needs to be done while recording the kid writing the exam. So our FAQ document that Liesel will also show you will give you guidance as to how to do this recording. It needs to be safeguarded for future reference so that we can access it if there's some questions, and also that the IEB needs the credibility of our assessment. So for our assessments to work and for marks to be accredited by Umalusi, you know about Umalusi, the exams must be credible. That's why we have to take everything onto a video recording while the kid is downloading the paper, writing the paper, uploading the paper, everything online.
And obviously no open book tests allowed.
No, unfortunately not. So while you're doing the procedure also mentions that. So while you're doing the recording, you have to show where the kid is sitting, the student, how they're writing the exam. They must show the PC that there's nothing on the screen. So the whole session, if it's 2 hours or 2.5 hours, needs to be recorded. But we're giving guidelines as to the software that you need, or with a cell phone, etc., how to do the online proctoring, if you can call it like that, and how you can also store it for future reference.
Thank you very much.
Okay. I can maybe just add also that for our formal assessments, especially for the high school, we need invigilation for most of our tests, some of the tasks as well, and then especially for our exams, there must be an invigilation. Under normal circumstances, it should be someone that's not in the family circle. It should be someone on the outside, but due to the special circumstances we have now, we do allow a family member inside the house to do invigilation. But also in the FAQ that Liesel will show you, there are certain steps that you need to take when you do this kind of invigilation.
Okay, thank you, Adele. Thanks, Adele. Anyone else? Michelle, I see you also want to ask a question. Anything you want to ask? I did allow you to.
Yes.
Okay,
Thanks,
hi, Michelle.
Liesel. Hi. Liesel, it's two things. I think I did address the invigilation query to you, but I haven't yet got a response because I went online and I registered the individual on the system, but I still didn't get a code activated. And I know exam starts pretty soon, so I'm a little concerned about that.
Will you just
And the second one,
me again? I did give it through to the department. I'll then just follow up what is happening. I did ask them to check on that, so you can just email me again, please.
Okay, perfect. The second one is, obviously my son's in grade 11 and exam starts on Monday with the comprehension and stuff. And I think the accounting exam requirements are still outstanding. So I'm just a little bit, I'm wondering where we are with that.
Adele?
Okay, I can answer for you that. Our teachers have been notified to put the demarcations up by the end of today for
Okay.
those that's not up. Some of our teachers have external examiners that's all setting the papers, and we're waiting for exactly what's been asked in the exams, especially for grade 10 and 11. Grade 12, there's no excuse for demarcations not being up. If there's a grade 10 or 11 demarcation outstanding, you're welcome to give me an email, adele@brainline.com, and I'll follow up for you. But the demarcation, you should also remember that we do not examine students according to textbooks. We examine them according to our CAPS and SBA documents, meaning that we assess according to topics from the IEB. So the demarcations is just a smaller indication of maybe what you can leave out, but you'll find that in the demarcations, we normally indicate that they must study all the work from cycle 1 and 2. So what a teacher maybe do is just label it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 downwards, but you'll find it's almost everything for cycle 1 and 2. So I think you would be safe if you start preparing on everything for cycle 2 and then catch up from cycle 1 onwards.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else with a question? Those who have asked to speak? Okay. I think we addressed the question that came in about writing mid-year exams at home. I think that was answered by Adele's answer. Then, indien ons nou in Junie aansluit, sal ons kinders nog succesvol kan voltooi. I'm going to ask you guys, if you post questions, will you please add your grades? As julle vir ons vra, asseblief julle grade ook vir ons bysit, dan weet ons wie antwoord. But definitely, no matter what grade your child is in or your children are in, it's definitely still possible to successfully complete the year. Dis beslis nog moontlik om die jaar te voltooi. Ons sal julle help om vinnig aan te sluit en aan die regte paaie te volg om dit te kan doen. Adele, ek weet nie of jy iets wil bylas daarby nie?
Sorry?
Yes.
My name is Monica. I'm Monique's mother.
Hi.
I need clarity on 2 issues. Okay, the first one regarding the COVID arrangement for the exams. You mentioned there that it's going to be a family member that will be allowed to do the invigilation. So does it mean that one of the person that will be doing the invigilation must also register, like,
Yes.
so that needs to register also and get a code?
Yes, that's correct. So even if it is a family member, you must please also complete the invigilator registration and use the invigilator code that is issued to you.
Okay, thank you very much. And then my next question, my daughter only joined in. My daughter only joined in now for the second term, but she was in a Kiro school. So I wanted to find out whether the work that was done, like her exams that were written for the first term and the tests, do we need to transfer it to you? Do you consider it? What must we do with them? Or does she need to start from scratch and catch up on term 1 work on your side?
Okay, what grade is she in now?
She's in grade 10.
Okay, if you can get us the report, it will be fantastic. Then we can use the marks on our system. We can include it. But she does not need to catch up our cycle 1 assessments. It's important for grade 12, but for, as she is in grade 10, it's not to worry. But if you have the report, please send it through to us.
Okay, thank you very much, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank
Lisa,
you.
like, and maybe I can just add for you that if you were coming from a Kiro school, the work that we mainly do for the main subjects is almost the same order that we're doing. So it may be possible that she already done the work in cycle 1 at Kiro and will also have done it in at Brainline as well. So we are, because we're all IB schools, the order in which we do our work is basically the same. So that's not that you would have lost any work.
Okay, thanks, Adele. Okay, I think it's some of those that we will answer on typing. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you, then you can see what Brainline looks like. Okay, so that is Brainline, and that is my personal zone that we keep going on about. Okay, everything you need, you will be able to find in my personal zone. Okay, so my personal zone, my persoonlike zone, het al die belangrike inligting. my mentor, that is me. So if you need to book a session with me, a free of charge 15-minute session, this is where you will find all my information. As 'n student enige raad of inligting nodig het, kan hulle by my 'n Zoom sessie bespreek. Timetables, that's an important question always. Where do I find my timetable? Okay, so your year planner is over here. Die jaarbeplanner is daar. Then here you can see the timetable for the virtual classes. Die roosters vir die virtuele klasse wat aangebied word. And then also the exam prep sessions. For the exams, some teachers are offering extra sessions to ensure that the students are ready for the exams. Daar word extra klasse aangebied voor die examens om seker te maak die studente reg is vir eksamen. And over here is the exam timetables. The test timetables and exam timetables. So toetsroosters en examenroosters kan ook onder die rooster link gekry word. My assessment, well, this is where you will find all the information regarding assessment. So, enige inligting wat jy wil weet oor assesserings kan jy hier kry. Adele also referred to the FAQ document. So die vraag en antwoord dokument oor assesserings and invigilating during the COVID situation is all in here. So all the inligting is there. So also a lot of questions coming through about how to register for an invigilator. You will find all of the information on there as well. Okay, so step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, a tip from me, hint van my af. Julle moet asseblief al die stappe voltooi. Please complete all the steps to ensure that you actually receive your invigilator's code. Okay, it sometimes does happen that a test or exam cannot be completed in the scheduled session. Dit gebeur partykeer dat 'n toets nie in die regte tydgreep voltooi kan word nie. It might be due to load shedding, or it might be to other circumstances, and that's when you will add the late submission declaration to your task or assessment. That's when jy laat indieningsverklaring ook vir ons wil by indien saam met jou taak of eksamen. Brainline guides. Teacher Adele uploaded some awesome videos for you guys to assist you with how to upload assessments, how to access your timetables and test and exam passwords on Brainline. So with the Brainline guides, there's quite a few videos and links and hints on how to actually navigate Brainline. So hier sal vir julle baie raad om hoe om op Brainline reg te kom. Software essentials, we always give you links to free, mostly free then, softwares. Okay, so sagte woorde wat meestal gratis is, wat jy kan gebruik om julle studies by Brainline vir julle makliker te maak. To ensure that your studies at Brainline is a lot easier and smooth sailing. And then I know what Rosie always likes me to show you is the Brainline e-readers and the Brainline e-leser. This is where you will find the e-reader. That's where you will have access to actually download the e-reader. Dit is ook dan waar jy toegang sal kry om die e-leser af te laai. So that's the short and the sweet of my personal zone. Okay. I see some questions are coming in again. There's some more hands. Suhaila, I see that you raised your hand. Do you want to ask something?
Can I please? Sorry.
Yes.
There we go. Hi, how are you? My apologies. I was online 10 minutes before and just could not log in. So I've probably missed the explanation at the beginning. I've got 3 kids, grade R, grade 2, and grade 4, that are in mainstream schooling. And obviously with the whole outbreak of COVID, and I've got 2 kids that are asthmatic, is it possible at this stage to be able to switch over to your homeschool program?
Yes, definitely. Do you want to add anything, Adele or Gerda? But I'm most definitely more than, it's definitely possible to switch over.
Which
okay, so we would just grade R, grade 2, and grade 4.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, Gerda, yeah. Okay, Gerda, maybe you can answer this one.
So they're in a private school at the moment. We're based in Durban, KwaZulu-Natal, and we've been doing homeschool in the sense that teachers have been sending packs home and we've been completing it. But obviously with schools opening again and 2 of my kids being quite badly asthmatic, the risk of sending them back into a school environment just doesn't make sense. And with COVID being around possibly for the next year, it just makes more sense to switch to a curriculum provider who can offer us homeschooling in a legal and obviously compliant way.
My answer is yes, yes, and yes for all 3 of those. They they will they will get used to the system very easily and very quickly. You should just give yourself a week to get used to everything, and don't want to get everything under control within the first day. And yes, the transition will definitely be easy, especially in this time. And the learners is sitting in front of the TV and watching that Volkschool or what the department is offering, or doing it on their own or with your help. But I'm sure we have a lot more to offer you than the schools at the moment, because we are
definitely
on the online
definitely. I could see from your, yes, I could see that. I would just then contact you guys telephonically to find out how the fee structure and how the application process would work.
Yes, you I'm sure you have our details, and yes, it's a very easy process. You can just you can do it online as well. Rosie, dalk kan jy dalk meer sê van die hoe hulle die kwotasie dalk in die hande kry.
Yes, you're welcome to send me an email and I'll assist you with the quotation, as we have a special price that we offer everyone during these times. So I'll just post on the chat group my email so that you can contact me directly, and you can enroll online at mybrainline.com. But you may send me an email and I'll assist you further.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll await those email details. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. I see another hand. Brent, did you want to ask something?
Hi, Liesel. How are you guys doing today?
How are we good, and you?
Good, good. I've been listening. It sounds like most of my questions are being asked by everybody else at the moment. We're also in the situation with a grade R and a grade 2 in a private school, and would be looking at moving towards something maybe online. So we're listening a little bit to what you guys are saying, and what your last person just chatted about. So I'm happy. I've put my hand down, and I'll also chat about the options as with the emails and carrying on so forward.
Okay, perfect. If there's anything, please let us know.
Thank you.
I think, is there anyone else, Chantal or Michelle, anyone else who still wanted to ask a question, live question? Okay, there's a question on the Q&A. Due to the lockdown, my son is not using his invigilator. As a result, I register myself. As an essential worker, I sometimes not at home for morning tests. Yes, definitely, Cindy's why. That's where the late submission declaration comes into play. So dis waar jy 'n laat indieningsverklaring sal gebruik, wanneer jy nie in die gewone tyd geleef die vraestel kan voltooi nie. Okay, so that's definitely allowed, as long as it's still completed on the same day. Okay, dis baie belangrik. Vraestelle moet net op dieselfde dag ingedien word. Can't be submitted on another day. Okay.
Daar's 3 hande op.
Okay. Brent, is there something else that you wanted to ask?
Hi there, thanks. Sorry, Liesel,
Yes,
one more question just regarding the final end of the year, when they get the results and all that, their little sort of paper that they'll get, their report card. How is that structured compared to sort of all the other IEB schools and private schools? Yeah, that's my question. Thank you.
Gerda?
Sorry, my internet went for a dip right now. Could you please repeat that question?
Hi, Gerda, you well?
Yes, now I lost some sound, but I'm back now. Sorry for that.
No problem. I was just saying, Gerda, at the end of the year, when we get our report card for our little kids, would it be a very similar format, and would it be a report card the same as the private schools, the IEB schools?
Yes, we have on the final report, we show the SBA and the final exam mark, and then a final mark. So you have the SBA, the cycle 4 exam and then a final mark that combines the two. So yeah, it looks exactly the same as the private schools.
Thank you. That's me done. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Brain. Okay, Chantal or Michelle or Monique, anyone else who still wanted to ask us something?
Ek dink daar's 'n Janine Legrandsie en 'n
Okay, I
Belinda
think
wat
it's Janine.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Hi everyone. So I'm also in the same situation as Zoella and Brent with a little grade 2 pupil. We also in mainstream schooling at the moment, also seeing schools are opening up, not feeling comfortable with the whole situation. And I also started looking towards proper online schooling because I know the schools are trying their best to provide us with some study material. I just think that they're not necessarily geared up for that as an institution like yourself that's been in this kind of business for a long time. So I've got a couple of questions, this being my first time doing something like this. So I do believe there's a process that needs to be followed where you need to register your child with the Department of Education for homeschooling. Is that something you guys can help provide some guidance on? Because it does look to me, I went to the website and I checked it out. It looks quite like a complicated process and a lot of paperwork that needs to be submitted.
It is quite daunting. I know the paperwork looks quite daunting. It is verskriklik baie papierwerk, but ja, maar met ja, omdat julle vir hulle gaan sê julle gebruik van ons kurrikulum, of julle maak van ons kurrikulum gebruik, is dit gewoonlik nie 'n probleem. Usually it's not a problem if you state that you are using Brainline. I don't know, Dal or Rosie, do you, or Gerda, do you perhaps have anything to add on here?
Ja, dit is nie 'n proses waarin jy afgekeur of goedgekeur word nie. Dis maar net om hulle sodat hulle weet die leerder is nie in die skool nie. So waar is die leerder? Dis maar 'n manier om te trek dat elke kind ergens iets doen. So jy hoef nie bang te wees dat dit 'n afkeer en 'n goedkeurproses is nie. Dis net dat hulle bewus is van julle en dat julle afstandsonderrig doen.
Okay, 100%. Just also on that, I just wanted to ask, so if we, let's say for example, we follow this process and we continue for a year and COVID is over and we want to go back to mainstream schooling again, is there any problem in getting back into that? Especially if we follow, I did look on your website, so it seems like everything is also CAPS based, so the curriculum should be the same. If we've done everything correctly, I would imagine there would be no problem to go back to normal schooling life then.
Yeah, that's correct. Especially if you can actually show them what curriculum you've used, and if you do sign up with us, then you will actually be able to show them what assessments you've done. So jy sal vir hulle kan wys wat se assesserings het jou kinders voltooi, wat het hulle gedoen, then you should not have any problems at all to actually move back to a normal, to a mainstream school.
Okay. I did also miss the first bit of the conversation. I also struggled to get in. So I just want to make sure I'm correctly understanding. So we are Afrikaans-based school, so we won't have a problem in having our subjects taught in Afrikaans. If it's not possible to discuss all of that in detail now, maybe I can chat to you guys later, but I would just like to have an example or just an eye on what a day would look like for a grade 2. Do they need to also attend classes online, and what would their schedule look like, just to see how we can make this work while also working from home and all of that stuff. And then I would just like to know how the assessments is done for the little ones, because they're not writing exams yet, and I know at the normal schools, you know, that's an online assessment process that they're following at the end of each term. So how do we do that now, you know, in a at home, you know, schooling situation?
Gerda, ek weet nie of jy eerste wil wegval nie.
Sorry, it's
Yes.
a lot of questions.
No, it's fine. I will answer the grade 1, 2, and 3 question about the assessment. Grade 1, 2, and 3 is actually we're supposed to do continuous assessment, but that won't be possible for a parent to submit daily work to us, and we going through that and put our stamp of approval on that. So to minimize that admin, we have a June and a November assessment that you can enroll the learner for. June isn't compulsory, so you have actually until November to do the assessment. You only have to do the assessment if you need a report, and that's why we advise that you should do the November assessment. Just to get a report, if you should need one the following year to enroll the child somewhere else. But the June one is not compulsory. You have a choice. And I think when enrolling now, I will advise a parent not to do the June exam. There are some optional assessment on the e-reader with the lesson material, and you can do that to see on which standard the child is. So for parents enrolling now, I will only do the November assessment, and we assess the 2 languages, maths and life skills. For grade 1 and 2, the parent do the assessment of everything that we should be able to hear, like oral and reading, and we use that mark. Grade 3s have to upload a video, and we do the final assessment in grade 3 because that's the end of a phase, and we would like to put our stamp of approval on that report for the following phase. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Janine, everyone, I am going to, in the chat now, share my email address as well. So if there are any further questions, you're welcome to email me and I'll point them in the right direction if I'm not the right one to receive the email. So you're more than welcome to email me as well.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Janine. Belinda? Was there anything that you wanted to ask?
Hi, I have a grade 11 son, and we are thinking of switching. And I just wanted to know, do the terms work like a 4-term school? Like when you talk about a cycle, that there's an exam cycle. So when would be a good time to put him over, now or after? No.
Yeah, we call our term cycles because we don't fall in exactly with either the private schools or with the public school terms and school holidays. So we decided to call it cycles because it might differ here and there. And I think when is a good time? As soon as possible, so they might actually be able to fall in and get used to our system. Adele, do you want to add on to that?
Yeah, Belinda, there's no need for you to stress about your kid falling behind or struggling with the system. We normally, if a student enrolls in such a late time on our system, we normally try to accommodate them as far as possible to keep the level of stress down. So we, grade 11 especially and lower, we try to exempt them from the exams that's coming up from next week onwards. And then we use the marks that they've got from the previous school for cycle 1 and 2. If it is a grade 12 student, and if there are people in grade 12 now, unfortunately, they'll have to catch up on specific assessments that's needed for the SBA mark or the year mark. But for grade 11, we always suggest that they be exempted from the exam. If they want to write the exam, it's fine. But they can just check it out and see what the standard is, etc. And then go on from cycle 3 onwards. So there's no problem when switching from one school to another. I think it's just the terminology that may be different, not the process as well.
Yeah, okay. I was a little concerned because I think that, if I'm correct, that when you apply for university, you give the end of grade 11's marks, right? The report for end of 11.
Yes, you do. But because we are an IEB accredited online school, it means that we follow the same curriculum as all other schools. We do exactly the same work. We do all assessments that all other schools are also doing. The only difference is that we are basically mainly online and not a brick and mortar school like a normal building. I think that's the biggest difference between us. And secondly, our marks are also of high quality. It is accredited by IEB and Omalusi, so there's no need for you to stress about end of the year marks. We have a very high pass rate. We had some of our top students last year with very big high marks, extinctions. So there's no need to stress. And we have highly qualified teachers that are specialists in their subject, not only on grade 12 level, but also higher. So the challenge is on.
Okay, cool. So just to be clear, I didn't quite understand. So they are holidays. Are they holidays, or is it just do the work?
No, there's definitely holidays as well. They call that academic recess, but there's definitely holidays, time for the students to just relax and not have to worry about schoolwork or assignments.
All right, cool. Okay, and that follows four terms more or less, or four cycles in between. Okay.
Yes, that's correct.
Do you have any question? No. Okay, that's good. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Belinda. Okay, there's someone that's on here as Galaxy S10. Is there any questions from you? Okay, I'm going to go to the questions, my Q&A as well. My son is in grade 12 and missed the assessments and tests in cycle 1. Will he still be able to complete the year, assuming he meets all of the deadlines and assessments from now on? Jane, definitely. There are quite a lot of assessments coming up now. If you have already moved over, please email me. I would love to assist you to ensure that he actually catches up. He needs to, okay, Adele said she wants to add on here.
Hi, Jen. How are you? I'm fine. Chris is actually with me for MathLit, and yeah, so he didn't do his cycle 1 assessments due to several reasons, but we need to fill his portfolio. So we will be arranging alternative catch-up tests and assignments as far as possible. For my subject, for math literacy, you don't have to stress about the cycle 1 test, seeing that we are writing 2 exam papers and the 1 paper can be substituted for the test that he missed. The task he already submitted, so it's fine. For the other subjects that he may have missed, the teacher will communicate with him if he needs to complete those assessments, because for grade 12, we need a full SBA portfolio to be submitted as a year mark. So don't stress about deadlines for now, as long as he can focus on writing the exams now in June, and as he has time open, complete the tasks that he may have missed. Like I said, tests can be followed up and catched up in the cycle 3 before the SBA marks needs to be submitted. So I think it's still fine if he missed something in cycle 1.
Okay, thanks Adele for that one. There's a question, how much interference can there be in the background during class? Will we be doing calls with clients and our children be sitting next to me having class? Will the noise interfere? No, you can actually mute yourself, so it won't interfere with anyone else's lesson, so that's nothing to worry about. You can just mute yourself and won't interfere. Okay, we've answered that one. Okay, accessing the Brainline Mentor for grade 2, 4, and 5 is exactly the same. You can access me on the My Personal Zone page, right at the top, My Mentor. You're more than welcome to access me there as well. If a learner completes their year, age, or heading subjects, say maths, would they be able to begin the following year's activities, or do they need to wait? Brent, what grades are you referring to? Because that's quite a tricky question. Adele, you can also add on here, and then Hada can add on as well, regardless of the grade. So perhaps you guys can add on so long.
I think he's the one with the learners in grade 2 and 4,
Yeah.
Hada.
Okay, I've been in teaching for many years, and I'm not very fond of advancing a learner because emotionally they have to be ready. However, they can start, if you feel that they will be able to do 2 grades in 1 in the primary school, it is something that we can work around and you can attempt, but I will not advise that because there's a lot of pressure on a learner that you don't need to put on a primary school learner. I think if you have that in mind, you should contact me and let me understand why, and we can discuss reasons why you think it's a good idea, and I will give you my idea of why it's not a good idea. It is possible in the primary school, but yeah, I'm not a great fan of advancing them just to get ahead.
Thanks, Gerda. A good question. There was a question, it disappeared. There was a question about socials. It is quite difficult seeing that our learners are so spread over the country and across the world. So ons het regtig studente reg oor die land en reg oor die wêreld. I am actually starting to launch, and I already launched for the juniors, online games. We call them brain games, where we play games like scavenger hunts, and ons het wys en vertel. We have shows and tells and everything. And then usually we also have an awesome tour every year, also the fantastische toere. But due to COVID, they've been rescheduled to 2021. It's a fantastic tour that we're going to go to the Kruger National Park, experience awesome things there. And then every year the highlight for every matric student, die hoogtepunt van elke graad 12 leerling, is die matriek afskeid, the matric dance. So we have the matric dance for students. We are not sure what's going to happen this year with COVID happening. Ons is nie seker wat nou as gevolg van corona gaan gebeur nie, but usually we have that every year, and that's a highlight for all our students. So that's with regard to socials.
Liesel, maybe I can add here as well.
Please.
And I can see it in the classes as well. When students log on like 5 or 6 minutes before the lesson actually starts, they are talking to each other. They unmute and they're chatting. So there's definitely social interaction between students, even though they're not sitting next to each other or touching. They are, they're connected in an online virtual manner, and they can't wait to see each other the next time when they're in class. So there's definitely social development taking place. So there's no need to think that it's only you and your child. And I'd just like to add on to the one about the sound. If you use earpieces like me and Liesel is using, when your child is doing the class, it won't disturb anyone around them, like a teacher talking, and everybody needs to listen to that. So you can definitely set the situation in such a way and your surroundings so that it's more preferable for the child when doing the class.
Thanks, Adele. There's another question for you, perhaps from Yaku. My daughter in public school grade 10, is Brainline an online school with the entire curriculums dealt with via online classes, or is Brainline mainly home study and an online classes only revision?
Okay, so it's a little bit of both. Our online classes focus mainly on the topics that's most important or a little bit more difficult to understand. If I talk from a science and math perspective, I can definitely tell you that we try to cover as much as possible because it is a difficult subject. But mainly we cover topics that's most important. And from experience, because all our teachers are highly qualified IB teachers that has been taught teaching in other schools as well before they went to Brainline. And we know from experience what type of topics and which topics needs more attention than others. So we try to cover as much as possible, but we don't cover the entire content of the syllabus as such. We try to limit a little bit. And also because we don't see the students every day, like in a normal brick and mortar school, we see them 2 or 3 times a week for a 45-minute lesson. So that also limits our capability of completing the whole content for the year. But we try our utmost to do as much as we can.
Thanks, Adele. Then, okay, Rosie, I just sent you a question and you were excited, so you can perhaps answer the question for us. About on the spot.
Is that the question from Yaku?
Yeah.
Okay, Yaku. Yes, I love this question. So you asked that if COVID turned worse and the government decided to keep the schools closed this year, would our Brainline students be able to complete their year, or and move on to the next year? So the answer is yes, we are a fully functional online or virtual school. So we are very lucky and fortunate that we are unaffected during these times. So we provide support as normal to all our learners. So that's why we are positioning ourselves to help everyone out there that have questions like yourself, so that you can move over to a guaranteed stable environment, not to lose the valuable academic time and academic year. So we would really recommend that if you foresee that in your school that is the scenario and that you are concerned about it, consider us as soon as possible rather than later. I don't know if anyone else wanted to add to that.
No, I
So
think
maybe
okay, Adele, you can go.
Sorry, Rosie. Maybe I can help Rosie's hotspot at the moment. Due to the fact that we are virtual doesn't mean that we're not a school. We are online, yes, and we do have limited contact time with our students due to our a massive amount of students that we work with. But it's not stopping us to perform and to give quality education to all students. So we follow the same curriculum as all other schools in IEB. We are accredited by Malusi. We follow the CAPS document like the department schools are doing. Just one thing you maybe need to remember, that when you move from a public school to an IEB school, it's the same curriculum, but the IB tried to work more in an application type manner, meaning that we want to prepare our students when they go to tertiary education. So we do more hands-on type of work with the same topics that we do in normal departmental schools. So because we're a virtual online school does not mean that we are lesser than the rest. We actually have fully qualified specialists in our subject that teach the learners. And because of that, we can provide students in this time now with uncertainty. And I have proved that my own son, that you as a home teacher at home, a parent, does not need to do too much when you enroll with Brainline. You're merely there for support for your student and to help them keep track and keep time management, etc. But give love and care to them, because they will need the support now more than ever because of all the uncertainties. And the moment that they see that it's actually the same as school, you'll find that they are eased into the process very quickly, and it makes it easier for them. And also, when you do online schooling, you don't have a fixed time schedule, so you don't need to be up by 6 and be at school at 7 and have lunch break, etc., and get on the bus at 2. You have your own timetable that you work accordingly, and in that way you can organize yourself. And it takes a bit of discipline at the beginning, but the moment you get into that schedule and that rhythm, it's very easy to follow. And we at Brainline, our teachers give very good support to our students, and that's what we're trying to do for the rest of South Africa out there at the moment.
Thank you, Adele. Okay, then Veronica's question. Let me just quickly get back to that one. You stated that you are finishing cycle 2 when the normal schools haven't started term 2. How do we catch up the gap? And your daughters in grade 10 or your students in grade 10? We actually aim to assist all of you. With regards to, for example, should you switch over now, we will exempt you from the exams, and that will give you time to actually catch up the work that wasn't covered now in cycle 2. So actually catch up of all the work and make sure when we start cycle 3, you are ready, or the student is ready to join in. Adele, do you want to add to what I've said?
I think you've covered almost all of it, Liesel. We try to accommodate students that enroll late, especially if they're coming from the mainstream schools. And we try to help them, if you enroll now, to rather focus on new work that we will cover, and then in your spare time, catch up on the work that's been done in cycle 1 and 2. And also the demarcations that we give for our assessments up to grade 11 can be in such a way that we can assist students in another way. Unfortunately for grade 12s, they need to know all the work, so they'll have to put in some time to catch up on work that they have not done.
Okay, then some more hands. King, was there anything that you wanted to ask?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, good in you.
Good. My question was just relating to the issue of invigilating.
Yes.
Because of like the test, probably they will be of a grade 2, 4, 5. You said on the 25th, starting there. Is it?
Yes, that's correct. Gerda? Yeah, yes, that's correct.
Meaning the from now on, because I've been struggling to, especially to log into your personal this personal zone.
Yes.
It's very hard for me to log in there. It's been like quite 3 months now.
Okay, do you perhaps on the question and answer, don't you just want to send us your student number or your P number, and then we can actually ask someone to contact you and to assist you, because we really want you to be sorted out. So can you please send us your student number or your P number, and then we will assist you and see why you are struggling.
Okay. Maybe you can just give me, before I give you my which portal from the website.
So you actually
Which portal must
you go to Brain Online, and then the option is My Personal Zone. So you log in with the student details, the student number and student password, and then it is My Personal Zone. Then all the information is there.
My Personal Zone is on About, Newsroom, Contact, Quick Links. Which one?
Rosie, can you perhaps assist?
Yes, maybe can you just share your student number on the chat if you have that at hand?
Okay. Okay. All right. No, those were my two questions, because most of questions will come out from what I will get there. Then I can ask very easy.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so first step would be to arrange your login. So please send it on the Q&A, then I'll make sure we give you a call back.
Okay. Must I send that P number?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. I will do that now.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, King. Okay. Then Michelle, would you want to ask something else? Okay, so Hayla, did you want to ask something else? Okay. Then Jacqueline said, I love the fact that it's not normal class hours. Can you explain how a grade 6 child normal day would be, seeing that public school is from 7 to after 1 each day? Gerda, can you perhaps assist?
Yes, I always advise parents to have a school day and not get up from and start whenever you want. So if you start at 7, you decide to start at 7 or at 8 or even at 9, but have a school day. The children should be get used to a normal school day, and they don't take chances. They get up and they know we start at 8. I usually advise parents to start with maths and the languages early in the morning, and then do the playful things like the art and the activities that they do outside with the balls and the skipping ropes. Do that later during the day, especially for those who has a little bit of ADHD. Then you tackle them when they're early, fresh in the morning, and then you do maths and the languages. I usually start with maths because then you have to be very bright and shiny for the maths part. And then some learners will complete a day within 3 hours if it's a bright child. Some need 5 hours, but you shouldn't be busy for 8 hours with a primary school learner. You should be able to complete a grade 6 day from 8 to 1. You might do it earlier. Okay. I hope that answers your question.
Thanks, Gerda. Before you go away, there's another one for you. It was about the classes. I'm not sure how the primary school classes work for grade 3 and 7. Are the classes mixed, or is there an English and okay, for grade 3 there aren't all that many classes, but for grade 7 are the classes only in English or only in Afrikaans, or are they mixed?
Okay, for English are only in English. The English classes are only in English. The Afrikaans classes for the English learners, so that means the English learners additional language. Those classes are presented in both languages. So we assist the English learners because they're not that used to hearing Afrikaans. We assist them by doing the class in both languages. So they hear the Afrikaans, but we explain the concepts in English. And then maths is only, we have the grade 5 maths lesson, then it's in English only, or the graad 5 wiskunde les, that's only in Afrikaans. So we don't mix the two languages in the maths because it's confusing for the little ones. The terms, the terminology differs too much.
Thank you, Gerda. Thanks, Gerda. Okay, Michelle, yes, you still wanted to ask something.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect. There were two things. I think you covered it when I think Belinda asked something, but I just wanted clarity. There will be, if the child writes an exam now in June, and maybe for Adele, will there be a report due? And can we still use that report, obviously, if we're doing a temporary or preliminary application to university? And then my second question, for Brain Online, the personal zone, Liesel, is there any way that we can actually use our P number? Because I've been using my son's student number, but then I'm also logging him off by mistake in error because I'm logging on and checking things when I'm at work or from my laptop, and then I'm logging him off by mistake. So is it possible to use our own P number, or is it only for the student?
You are supposed to use the S number. I'm not sure what's logging you off because I'm different. I'm often on different browsers, but with my own login details. Rosie, are you aware that it's logging students off if you log in more than once? Because I'm often logged in on 3 different browsers to achieve different things. Rosie?
I haven't heard of it restricting you from being logged in at 2 places at the same time. Can you confirm for me, is it definitely when he at home is logged in and then you log in at work and then it kicks him out?
Yeah, so he's logged in on a few devices, and I think you allowed 5. He mentioned 5, I think, if I'm not mistaken, but I don't know. So he's allowed, and then I just go in to check, obviously, what's due or the timetable and stuff. And then I don't know, after that, he just tells me, Mom, were you on? Because I've obviously logged him off or cut him off by mistake.
Okay, so brilliant multitasker being logged in on 5 devices at the same time.
No, he's not on 5. I'm just saying I think you can do 5. I'm not sure. No, he's only on 2 at the moment.
Okay, so I think there's 2 things. There's the Brainline e-reader and then there's Brain Online. I don't know that brainonline.com restricts you from being logged in at 2 places at the same time.
Okay.
So, and then the Brainline e-reader is restricted to 3 devices. So it depends on whether you're trying to access Brain Online or the e-reader.
Okay.
So what I can ask is, if that happens again, please send an email to support@brainonline.com because it might be the browser that you're using, but I'd have to look at the specific case.
Okay, thank you very much.
The email is support@brainonline.com.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Michelle, and you also asked about a report mark. Yes, sure.
Yes,
you can
thanks,
use your
Adele.
report. Yeah, you can use your mark. So if he's writing the exams now, I think it's Elijah, no? Is his name?
No, Myron.
Okay, yes, I remember now. You can use the mark. So if he's writing the exams now, perfect, because that's a big mark that contributes towards his SBA mark at the end of cycle 3, especially for grade 11. So yes, my hat's off to him if he wants to write the exam. It's perfect.
Okay. Are you saying then, Adele, on that note, do they actually have a choice about writing the exam? Because he's obviously started before COVID. I mean, we chose to start grade 11 at the beginning of the year. Do the kids then have a choice?
No, they don't have a choice. We only give the choice to students that is enrolling now in May.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, but if you're here with us for the whole year now, you need to write the exam. You don't
Yes,
have an excuse.
exactly.
But if it's medical, yeah, obviously, then we need the medical certificate. But if it's a student that enrolled now during May, and they feel like it's all too overwhelming and they haven't done the work, etc. We, for grade 11 and lower, we may try and exempt them from the exam, and for grade 12, they need to write the exams, unfortunately.
Okay, perfect. Now happy. Thank you.
Thanks. Salome, did you want to ask a question?
I'm mute now. Oh.
Okay, yeah, now I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. I'm having a bit of a challenge right now that my daughter has just started with you guys, and she's been struggling with her submitting her assignments for like English and Afrikaans. And she has been a bit kind of, she doesn't know what is it to submit. And all of the, even Afrikaans wasn't on time. I'm getting a bit of a challenge right there.
Okay, what grade is she in?
She's doing compact, she's doing 10 and 11.
Okay, I will follow up on that because I know it was due. Don't you please just want to email me because I would love to assist you. I'm sending my email address through to you guys again. So if there's anything, then I will follow up for you as well. If you can just send me an email with your P number and her S number, and then I can follow up on that for you.
Okay then. And also again, I also wanted to ask, I don't know if I checked, when do the exams start?
Okay, that was actually released on the Compact My Personal Zone, I think early in April, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so it is on my so it's on My Personal Zone at the timetables, so she can just check that it's been available for quite a while, and the exams are around the corner.
Are they around the corner?
Yeah.
And I think she's not ready at all, because even now she hasn't submitted the English assignment right now, but she's busy with it. I don't know, by tomorrow we're going to submit everything on that English assignment.
Okay, please just contact me on my email address and then we can chat about it.
Okay, then not a problem then.
Okay, perfect. So, Hayla, did you want to ask anything else?
Yes, I would love to ask something. So I'm so excited about everything that I've been hearing. Like, I've already sent my email off to Rosa Marie so I can get a quote. I've just got two concerns. My kids are obviously in mainstream schooling. They had already written their tests for the first term, but the school hasn't issued a report. And I have no idea if they're planning on issuing one. What happens in that case? Is there an assessment that they do prior to starting with you? Because obviously they never made it back to school in the second term, even though we've been working, but I've got no physical report to hand to you for academic functioning for this year. What happens in that case?
Especially because your kids are still young, it's not really a problem. It becomes a problem in the higher grade, so you don't need to stress about that. Should you at a later stage then be able to access the report, that's fine, but that's nothing to stress about for right now. We will just continue the year forward, then we will actually exclude cycle 1, so as if term 1 never existed, and the year marks and report marks will consist of the remainder of the year's marks.
Awesome. So if I'm keen, super keen, I've already sent a quote off to be quoted to Rosa Marie. Is my next step then to chat to you guys about going forward, or do I start registering on that link that was put up by Rosa Marie? How does it work first? First make contact with Brainline, look at the fee structure, register, and then from there move on to that panel, education.aspx, to register there. What is the steps?
You can actually register with Brainline then. So once you're happy with the code, you can register at Brainline. And while you already at least enrolled at Brainline and starting with the work, then you can start registering at the Department of Education. Rosemary, what's the best way for her to actually then join Brainline? Should she be happy with the quote? Can she just reply to the quote and then everything will go ahead?
Yes, you can, once you accept the quote, you go to mybrainline.com, just complete the 5 steps of the online enrollment process, sign the standard agreement, and then when the deposit is paid, we approve and you can go on your way as soon as that.
That's awesome. And do you guys, I think Janine was mentioning that it looks quite complicated, that registering process with the Department of Education, but this is South Africa, so we know complication follows us wherever we go. Do you offer some support? Like if it looks completely like, oh my God, what do we do here? Do you have support structures that would be like, okay, you need to click this, you need to click this? Is there some kind of level of support with regards to that as well?
Yes, it looks tricky, but we have people who will help. So if you get to a point that is tricky where you are stuck, you can let us know and we can point you in the right direction, most definitely.
Awesome. So excited and so happy with what I've heard thus far. Thank you so much.
Glad to hear. Okay, are there any further questions, Salome, did you want to ask something again?
No, it's fine. I'll talk to you on the WhatsApp. What is it that I needed to know? But yeah, but most definitely, I don't think she's ready for the exams for now.
Okay, perfect.
But we'll check on the
emails. Perfect.
Okay then. Thank you.
Okay. And then I think one last question from Ryan. Ryan, the tests are available on Brainline. For example, if it's English test, you'll go to the English subject page. We are in cycle 2 now, so you'll click on cycle 2 and you'll find the download link over there. I hope I understood your question correctly. Don't know if there's anyone else who wanted to add anything.
Liesel, maybe I can just add for Salome with regards to the compact. Salome, we have workshops for the compact students. Most of them, we've split them up between 2 Saturdays. So this coming Saturday, there's also a workshop for our compact students to help them prepare for the exam. So the phase exam, especially for the compact students, to make it easy for them because it's 2 years in one, we try to limit the work a little bit to help them ease through the phase exam. So please let her join the classes. It's on the subject page. There's a link for the subjects that's coming this coming Saturday, and it starts at 7:30 until 1 o'clock. Please let her join the class because I think in the class the teacher will limit the work a little bit, and so that she doesn't have to study all the chapters, so she can be fully prepared for the phase exam. Because we would like all our compact students to pass phase 1 so that they can start matric next year.
Thanks, Adele. Gerda.
Thank you. Thank you, Gerda.
Pleasure.
Okay, then the one about the tasks, Gerda.
We have tasks and tests for grade 4s. We have a task and a test in the term 1, 2, and 3, and only a final exam at in the last cycle. So you will have 2 sets to complete in a cycle. We have the mid-year. We are in the task submission week now, and then on the 20th, and then the last week in May. We start with our exam in the last week of May. So yes, you have tasks and tests in grade 4.
Yeah, and you won't be able to see the exams yet, Gerda, if I'm correct. It's the same as the high school. It only gets released on the said day as scheduled on the exam timetable. So that might be why you're not seeing the test yet. Okay, is there anything else from anyone? Okay, thanks so much for joining in the session. Baie dankie vir almal wat by ons ingeskakel het. You guys all have a fantastic day further. Bye.